right, so thank you very much. Going to share with you some of our crop budgets and numbers we've been spending the winter putting together. So just going to talk a little bit. One of the questions you're going to see on the survey is about the greatest challenges. And for years that we were doing this, regulations were the top. And in the last 3 years, we've seen input costs be the highest, followed by now wildlife damage. So this was from last year's survey. So as we get your feedback, we do appreciate that, and just highlights the importance of putting that pencil to the paper. So the enterprise budgets we put together is an organized listing of the estimated costs that you might spend. They are on a per acre basis that we do these, and we have numerous different budgets that we publish each year. So you can see our list here. It helps you determine the profitability of one enterprise versus another, helps you look at break-even costs and pricing points. It also helps you look at the input structure. So I work closely with Kurt each year, putting together a weed control program, an example weed control program for those budgets, and then really kind of look at that crop mix. So when you do look at our budgets, the top in the first section is the revenue. When we create these, I just go out on the CME group and find out what December corn is, what November beans is that day, and what July wheat is. All of our budgets are always dated, so you know what day we sat down and put those together, because obviously things do fluctuate. For the variable costs, these are expenses that vary with the level of output. So 1 more acre, there would be more seed, there would be more fertilizer. So those are your variable costs. Jenny and I generally reach out to maybe even some people in this room. You give us numbers, we average them. And that's how we put together our variable costs for fertilizer and crop protection products. Also, don't forget to include labor and crop insurance. So we do have crop insurance rates in there as well. And this is just an example. So I'll be using the corn grain no-till non-irrigated budget as an example of what the variable cost per acre would be. For fixed costs, these are expenses. This is your overhead. They don't vary with the level of output, and you really should be using not just the custom rates, which I will show you, but really should be allocating those yourself, so you know equipment costs. They vary by operation, paid off equipment versus maybe something that's new. So make sure that you're looking at what your fixed costs are. Within our crop budgets, we use custom rates. So for those of you that do complete the custom rate survey, we really do appreciate it. It helps inform us and look at all of those different types of field practices. So this is the fixed costs. We also add a land charge on here. This isn't necessarily a rental rate, but it's a cost of owning land. So you can put that number in how you would like. We have been using 110 for the last few years. At the bottom of the budgets, we also have an income and a kind of a sensitivity analysis. So it's like the what if. Okay, what if yields go up or down by 25%? And what if prices fluctuate up or down 12%? So those are at the bottom of each of the budgets. You can see the sensitivity analysis. We do list the assumptions so you kind of understand where, hauling's within 30 miles, how we're making decisions on fertility, and those type of things. So the assumptions are listed on those budgets. And then you can do a break-even analysis. So the example I've been using for corn no-till, you've got your fixed costs plus your variable costs divided by, we're looking at 160 bushels per acre, is a unit cost of $4.09. We also, if you download the Excel version, these will pre-calculate for you. So your break-even production, you have to grow at least 141 bushels per acre, your break-even price, the variable cost, total cost, and then profit per unit. So this is just an example. We've been doing these since 2008, so we have a lot of data and historical data I've compared it with the 2024s. We had really a very large spike in 2 and 23 with Roundup and some other fertilizer inputs. So we are seeing some come back down a little bit. We did make some modifications in the soybean budget, so you are seeing an increase there of 5% from last year, and that was mostly due to changing around some of our weed control methods in the Roundup Ready soybeans. So these are the ones that sort of we track each year. The cash rental rates, so you heard from Paul earlier, his group, the Ag Law team, publishes crop rental rates, and they've got Delaware's as well as Maryland's. And they're something that we get a lot of calls at there at the Extension Office. This is published by the National or USDA Ag Statistics, and then we put it together for Maryland and Delaware. So you can go to this link or our grain marketing website, which I'll show, where all of these resources live. So the custom rate survey, this is conducted every other year. So generally in the fall of an even year, we send out a mailing and an email, and we publish it for the odd year. So this is compared to 2023 that we published. We're seeing about a 5 to 8% increase from 2023. Overall, most of it is in, you can see the green ones here, all received increases. And we saw a substantial decrease in some of these equipment costs with excavating rental, bush hog rental. That did decrease about 19%, which offset that. But you can see field preparation, planting costs, hay production, labor, field applications, and harvesting all were increasing between 8 and 16%. So we have been creating, we mentioned the budgeting tool. We do have something if you kind of want to play around with it. If you don't totally love Excel, you can log in here and you can do some what if scenarios that kind of will do some real-time updates for you. There's some cards in the back. You can use the QR code, but it does incorporate the grain budgets, the cash rental rates, and the custom rates all into kind of an online tool. You can make an account if you want. It is free. And it's already pre-populated with what our current budgets say, and then you can make changes if you want. So if you're using a different crop protection product or a different rate, you can make those edits in there, or maybe you got it quoted a different price. All of that can be edited in there, and then kind of the neat thing is that this allows you to do a per acre or a whole field. So you can put in however many acres you would be doing this crop application on, or this kind of practice, and then you can see what the whole field would cost. It does build in some of the sensitivity analysis and then some visualizations with graphs. And you can see we did load in all of our old budgets, so you can see kind of how some things have progressed over time. I have been asked if this is inflation adjusted. It's not. This is just the real numbers. And it definitely has changed over the years. We changed populations. We've changed crop mixes, chemical mixes, yields. So there is some changes that happened that will cause these to maybe see some blips in. So you can add a field. You can create a farm and kind of go through. You can pick. We have a couple different kinds of grain crops and rotations that you can add in there. And you can kind of use it to work your budgets out. I think it's a lot, if you're not comfortable with Excel, it is very easy to use. And again, you can do it per acre or by the field, which is very different from what we publish as well. And let's see, I wanted to show, so if you do create an account, you can kind of have, again, these fields built in, and then you can export them to Excel if you wanted to save them or get them on paper or do any printing. So it's, again, maybe something that's a little bit more interactive, and it's something that you can customize to your farm, which is extremely important when you're doing these budgets. So don't go by our budgets. Use them as a good template to get started. So a little bit about this. It was funded through the Risk Management Center. We are hoping to kind of continue as we build on this data. We really want to be able to have it accessible to you in a very easy way. So there is some feedback that you can give us. If you want to email or fill out a survey on there, we'd love to make this a little bit better, easier, and more interactive. So with that, that is my contact information, and that's the grain marketing page. So if you go there, cash rental rates, crop budgets, custom rates, and the grain marketing tool are all listed on that site. And if you end up clicking on some links that aren't working, let us know, because we've had some things happen with that as well. So yeah, please reach out. We'd love to hear more about making these better. And if you get a custom rate survey in 2026, please fill it out.